I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Schulte here. Mr. Vanderhook here. Mr. DeBoer here. Mr. Helmers here. Any additions or subtractions to the agenda for today?
I have none.
Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes?
Let's start out at least, so I'll make a motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Resolutions. Maybe Jason will give me a little info on what we got with our resolutions.
The Care Connections Board took action to recommend that each member county recess each county to the east is interested in joining 5 separate actions, so each resolution considers one county. Looking back at our December minutes, when we started the discussion in earnest, we said we wanted to work towards getting kind of ending fund equity. We've got agreements in place, those counties are willing to do that. The governor's proposal, what the legislature is considering, could alter that. We don't know, but our motion and our consideration in December didn't reference anything that the state might change. So we've got an agreement in line with what we were wanting to see and how we would want to proceed if they were to join us. If the state changes the playing field, I think it's still reasonable to move forward. Ending fund balance equity may become more difficult to achieve. Cassuth County, my understanding was to finish what they owed CSS, they borrowed from their general fund, which they're allowed to do, but then they would pay it back from elevated levy rates beyond what is being contributed for the city to join us. I question how that can work if the proposed legislation goes through. That's really not, I don't think it's going to affect our region. I don't think it's something that is concerning for us individually or as a region. So,
Was everybody coming in debt free?
yes, well, other than Cassuth to themselves, basically.
Okay.
And thinking back to when the region started, Osceola County ended North Iowa Care Connections with debt. And we were covered, we were given equal status, we were treated well. So while we've got an agreement and while we're working towards ending fund equity in light of our history and everything, I don't know that I'm ready now. I know I've talked that way in the past and I've wrestled through a lot of things. I think it's still reasonable to work with them, to provide them a place they want to be and work with, and so I do support it and would point encourage to accept those members.
Anyone else have any other questions? I'd take a motion on resolution number 18.
I will make a motion introducing resolution number 18 for Cassuth County. Support.
Mr. Schulte, how do you vote? Aye. Mr. Vanderhook, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. DeBoer, how do you vote? Aye. Mr. Helmers, how do you vote?
Aye.
I vote aye. Motion carries.
So the other thing I would mention, I should have done before the changes, but I have sent a letter or email to O'Brien and Dickinson by our bylaws. If they don't act on this, it's considered a positive vote of their board. So I've asked them to just register a vote of abstention, or even if they would discuss between them and cancel each other out, that would leave the remaining 3 counties really making the decision. But if they were to not address it and come in as positive votes, it could
Okay.
alter that. I don't know what they'll do, but I have taken that additional step too. Just FYI. I'll make a motion on the second one as well.
Resolution number 19. Support it. Mr. DeBoer, how do you vote? Aye. Mr. Vanderhook, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Schulte, how do you vote? Aye. Mr. Helmers, how do you vote? Aye. And I vote aye. Resolution number 20.
I will make that motion as well.
new job description for maintenance ground. Everybody had a chance to look over the revised one. Isn't any other questions? I think a motion on approving the job description. Yeah. Support. All those in favor of passing the job description?
Right.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Is it something we should look at sometime about maybe having some skid loader or something for cleaning the parking?
Yeah, it could be worth checking into.
There's,
Tile skid loader or what?
yeah, or see if we can use the secondary road or something. It's just something to think about in the future.
And then is there a separate salary appointment?
Bernie,
Paperwork thingy?
yep, right here, yep. And his salary is, that pays him all right, his normal 37.5 hours times 19 times 52 is what came up with that salary.
You said you just took the salary out times.
It's $19 an hour times 37.5 hours times 52 weeks. So it came up with that salary.
Sounds good to me.
And that would be 12 months, so that
I'll make that motion.
Yep, until, this will go until June 30, and then in July 1st, he'll get a 2.75 raise like everybody else does.
I'll take a second on that motion. All those in favor of the salary appointment?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Job description for the engineer's office manager. The only thing I question leaving in there is probably that assistant zoning administrator. I don't know that a new hire, given everything that's involved, that really should be the engineer's thing to handle, but
does she do it all now?
yeah. And I think her title was assistant zoning administrator before.
Did she formally receive the title zoning administrator?
Yeah, he has a separate appointment for that.
So this would be going back to where it's
Just
the
the assistant.
assistant. I agree with you, I don't know if it's an issue to have it titled assistant zoning administrator, or if we just have in there that one of the duties may be to assist the zoning administrator. Obviously, I think the engineer could request that of his staff, but,
It's highly level
zoning.
now.
Actually, yeah,
That
we'll
would
go
change,
get our money that one.
3, 4 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
There's just so much involved with that now, I know there used to be. I really think the engineers should,
Make sure he oversees everything.
yeah.
Kind of the way it was before.
I mean, she'd still be doing paperwork and all that stuff for it, but as far as like her going to the meetings in lieu of Aaron, attending things and taking care of approval of things, I think that should really stay with the engineer.
I do, well, especially now for the first few years.
It's assistant zoning administrator, that's her,
Assistant.
which I don't, that's what it says on her appointment. Assistant zoning administrator.
I kinda like to see that come out of there. And if you wanna try to have the new person, after they get the hang of things, maybe appoint it to them later, if that was agreeable to everybody, I'd get it. But in the meantime, I really think, until you get your feet under yourself, it would be best not to have that in there. But all the rest of the stuff looks pretty straightforward as to what the duties of that position are.
So you want to strike that position, includes assistant zoning administrator, I'll make that motion.
All those in favor of the changes to that employee job description? Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
That approval of the job description with this.
Yep. And we're ahead of schedule. Got 2 minutes, so it's not here.
Two places for her. Jason, my sister-in-law give you a call?
Well, that was mine, no.
Oh, okay, well, she was quizzing me on mental health and all this issues and how it's funded. She's been going to some meetings and how it's funded, how the school, they want the school to pick up part of the tab and she wasn't sure.
I did speak with Mr. Craig yesterday a bit.
Okay.
That wasn't it. That was what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, she was asking me, and I said, to be honest, if you talk to Jason,
He did mention that they were potentially looking at providing space for
Yes.
employees to meet with
Yep.
students and
Yep.
things.
And I don't even remember what the, it wasn't somebody I was familiar with. Did he say who was there?
Different resources.
Yeah.
I think
She
he
mentioned what
mentioned
she
that.
said. She wanted to know how the county would fund that. I said, I'm not sure.
And if the legislation passes or not, is to,
Yeah.
whether we want to waive any children's.
Well, we talked a little bit about how they mandate mental children's and there's no money to do it. But I said, why don't you call Jason? He's the expert on all that. I said,
The one knee deep in it, I just don't know.
well, you know,
Neck
you
deep.
know more than I do, so that's.
Maybe neck deep, so, I don't know.
You have more experience with it.
Magic beans, Jerry, that's how we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Magic beans.
Jason, when did the meeting start going?
Thursday the 12th. No, February. Wednesday the 11th.
Okay.
Where's it? I'll look. Registration.
As the purposes of our rooms are for tonight, is now open as well.
I go down at 12 in the afternoon. I think Barb and Jen are going from O'Brien and Ryan on that right there.
We'll open a public hearing. The proposed property tax levy fiscal year 2021.
received one call from a gentleman concerned about our cut to the Upton Way contribution. Had a decent conversation with him and told him about this opportunity here today. Probably doesn't want to.
I had a call on that too.
I had a call on that too, but just take it all the way down to zero. So next up, we have approved resolution number 21/1920, approval of this year 2021 maximum property tax dollars.
Well, you'll be sure.
Make a motion to approve resolution 21/1920.
Take a second for me.
I'll support that.
Mr. Shelby, how do you vote? Mr. Helmers, how do you vote? Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Penfield, how do you vote?
No.
I vote aye, motion carries. Approve public hearing date for the fiscal year 2021 proposed budget. You got a date for that, Rochelle?
March 24th at 9 o'clock, does that work? No, just at,
March 24th at what?
at 9 o'clock.
I don't know why that wouldn't work. Would like to make a motion on that?
I'll support that.
All those in favor? All those opposed, same sign. Other business? I did have the chance to talk with the Iowa Department of Human Rights, who oversees our action agencies here for Des Moines and everything else like that. And I learned something new yesterday, that there is a minimum requirement for office hours for our YE program, for the heating assistance, that they're required to maintain in every county that they provide the service. That minimum amount of hours is 16 hours. Our current amount of allotted office hours for our office hours is 12. So we are short of the required minimum that they're supposed to be providing us for that service. And they're hoping to help rectify that situation to get us with what is required of that program. That minimum amount of hours is required from October through April. And our posted hours are 9 to 3, Tuesday through Thursday. So it does fit within the guidelines to administer the program. And I don't know why it's taken so long to get them to get somebody to be there.
My question is, do they have to have somebody there or somebody just available?
Somebody has to be available in the office. You have to have a minimum office hours available. And they said they've been in the process of getting someone hired in that office. I think the last one I stopped over there last Thursday, they had somebody up there from Emmett County. And when I mentioned that they were bringing people from that far out to cover that, we thought that that was a not good use of resources, that they should be able to find somebody closer to come in and work in that office for that 16 hours. You know, once April gets here, that requirement is required, but to get that federal grant money, sometimes require minimum office hours. And that's not state money, that's federal. So hopefully they can get that rectified. And that's all I had for an update today.
Did everybody get that, email from that lady from, Little Sioux Watershed?
Oh,
Wanting to
that's right.
possibly meet with us, did you get that?
Yeah, no, I got it.
I don't recall that one.
Must have been to Ed and I, so.
What are your thoughts about having them on the agenda?
The lady would just like to come up with an understanding,
Doesn't matter.
talk to the board of supervisors about it, so.
I don't have that 2080 in front of us. I thought it cited in there that they could, even by participating, they cannot obligate us to any
No.
financial.
No.
So I guess without that concern, I think it'd probably be good to have a seat at the table. I did see one of the Bryan County supervisors, when we contacted them, and he indicated they may not be participating.
Didn't sound that way.
That was the kind of.
Some concerns over like the Des Moines Water Works lawsuits, and this, if you're entering into agreements with other entities, then you become potential target of a
Yes.
suit.
Yes.
Which is not something I thought of, but
No. They made a good point with that discussion, and it's not anything I really considered, but in hindsight, of looking how everything shook out with that Des Moines Water Works program, I don't know that I wanna participate with that.
I know what you're saying about being involved if we don't, but are we liable, for, if we do become involved?
and it's contingency stuff can be, if you don't participate and the group goes forward with something good and you're not involved, you may be subject on that end too, so I don't know you can find the perfect situation to avoid it, but.
Guess I don't think it hurt to listen for him or whoever.
So I just, what do you guys think, you want me to have it put on, or?
I think it's.
It wouldn't hurt for these guys to ask for some questions, so,
So, you want one of us to email or?
Yeah, let me know, next week's open. We have somebody coming at 9:30 next week, that,
Next week or 24th.
well, you have the date for it, 24th is, there was quite a bit on the agenda right now.
So that-
Oh, so you want a special meeting on the 17th?
Well, it's up to you guys. I don't really care.
not for just this.
Not for this, we can squeeze her in on the town.
Yeah, because the only one,
If she can come, that's all I don't.
the only
Second
thing,
the name of the town.
the only thing we have on the agenda is that Iowa Natural Department coming down for that Alladorf 7 miles for the, trail.
Oh, that's 7th.
Oh,
The
that was
7/10, that's Ross from the Iowa Natural Resources
Did you
coming
get that
down.
email too?
That one I didn't.
You did? You didn't get the nasty letter from, that Nick forwarded to us,
You might wanna have to forward that.
Okay.
saying that we didn't want to participate, so our share should be divided, that we still owe the Dickinson County Trails
No.
$96,000. Whatever, you don't remember that figure.
Cause we already had
You
it.
didn't get that email from Nick?
No, cause we had this discussion with the
I
county,
know.
with the county attorney and the attorney over there for the trails thing in Dickinson. And you can't enter people into debt without their approval to do so. And they entered us into all that debt without getting approval from us to do any of the work. So then to tell us after 7 years of not meeting with us, and you go to the first meeting and say, oh, by the way, you owe $96,000, like,
Well, kind of according to the email, it was, well, Beams are not paying they're not willing to pay anything, then they should pick up the tab on that 7/10.
we have a contract. The contract states what was supposed to be satisfied, and that's, I don't know what else you can do with it. The contract says what the contract says.
You got that, Mike?
I just forwarded it to you.
The contract says they were responsible
You didn't get it either?
to have all that ground purchased within whatever X amount of window to fulfill their obligation under that contract. So it's like, you didn't meet the obligations of the contract. You also couldn't enter us into debt without our approval. So it's like, I have a hard time trying to justify why we owe you any money when we didn't participate in any of the process.
We should,
Because the contract says that you can't spend more money than the amount of grant money that you took in. Well, they spent more than what they took in grant money. And I'm like, well, we didn't approve you to spend more money than what you took in grant funds. And the contract says you can't spend more than what he took in grant funds, so how could we be liable for any debt?
Did you read that at all, Jason?
I talked
You
to Dick
understand-
about it some too.
Would you talk to about it?
I talked to Dick about it some too.
How can, and maybe I misunderstood this, and we didn't even talk about this in the trails meeting, how can Dickinson County negotiate a deal with, the way I understand CFE,
Yeah,
on the price or Iowa Heritage, and then throw that figure at us? How, do you understand how that all worked, or?
We didn't sign any.
We never talked about that.
We didn't sign a new contract, so we're still under that original contract. And that agreement that we had.
7 cents a mile has never come up in any of those meetings.
New.
I understand what you're saying, and but I would like to see it as an agenda item and
Yes,
discuss it
I agree.
further. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I think there are.
Well, we've talked about this before, and I referred it all up to Nolan, and Nolan was working it out with the,
This is kind of a whole new deal with this 7/10 of a mile that I had never heard about before.
I did get your forwards, so I'll read it over.
What was the figure yet, Jason, 20?
Yeah, in my reading of it, I thought it was higher, but he said it's probably in that 23,000 range.
But how does that work, Jason? I was never on with the Winkle Trail. That would butt up against the Winkle Trail then? So,
Yeah, the Winkle Trail wouldn't be a part of this.
I know, but I mean,
But
So
yeah,
we're gonna
that
have
would
a
be
gap.
the final section that would connect
yeah,
everything on the east side to that section that's already owned with the Winkle Trail.
yeah, I agree. I think we should have a conversation.
It's on the agenda next week, Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
That rock is coming from my own vehicle.
because all that grant money that they spent was supposed to pay for that chunk over there, for all the right-of-way acquisition. So now, you overspent what you were allowed to spend according to the contract. Now you're telling me you want extra money because you spent money you shouldn't have spent. I just got a hard time. That money was already allocated to purchase that chunk of the right of way, and that thing drug on and drug on and drug on, because we talked about it at almost every trails meeting we went to over there, about when they were gonna get that last little bit wrapped up. Well, we're working on it, it's gonna get done. Well, until that got done, we didn't wanna move on with doing a different contract for whatever we were gonna do going forward, so we didn't, so we still got this. And that was all supposed to have been covered with the grant money that was available, so to say that we need to pay for it out of pocket, because you spent the money somewhere else.
Well, I think they're saying they'll keep that 96,000, but we have to pay for that.
No.
7/10. Ain't that right, Jason? The 7/10 of a mile?
That's how I would have.
Yeah.
taken that.
And I'm not saying I agree with that. I don't know.
I haven't read it.
I don't know who negotiated and how they negotiated it with CFE. I think we should have been in that
Well,
conversation.
if they were gonna put us in, they wanted us to pay that cost, then yeah, then we should have been the ones to negotiate the price,
Yep.
or whatever was gonna happen with that. But again, it's one of those, it's already after the fact, so now you wanna go ahead and try to bill us for something we
That's
didn't
my
agree to
concern about
participate in.
Little Sioux Watershed, because
Mhm.
that same group is spearheading this deal.
I guess we could add that on to the next,
It's on the agenda.
we'll have another discussion about the trails.
Yeah, that rock is coming from next week, Tuesday at 9:30 on the agenda. That rock from Iowa Natural.
This is a whole other,
This-
you gotta read the email, it's a
Yeah.
whole other deal.
Yeah, he's coming, I emailed him, he's coming next week. He wanted to talk on top of the board.
Gotta read the email.
I did not see that email, but I will read it.
I'm not telling you what to do.
Yeah.
But read the email.
Gotcha. I would have remembered something like that.
What's the name of the organization when you talked about the LIHEAP program?
Iowa Department of Human Rights. His name. Bill Brand.
forward to it?
So what I just forwarded?
I got one now,
Oh.
but I don't have one in there prior. We've had a lot of,
Yeah, I wonder why, 'cause last week too, I
Yeah.
sent it to you.
cause I got stuff that I didn't get from Rochelle, and then we've had all the crazy computer hacking, spam emails going out from the deputy and going out.
We just don't do anything with those deals, just don't touch it?
Just
Don't
delete
let it
it.
go away?
Just delete them. Our insurance company's looking into the second one we got, and they don't know if they can combine it with the first one, so it could be two separate claims that,
They don't know if they can, or they don't know if they will.
well, they didn't know, they're looking into it, last I heard, so I'm assuming they don't, I'm assuming it's two different claims, but the county pays, the insurance pays 100% of it.
I'm gonna go with the will.
So they suggest in our safety committee that maybe we have a class on that. The insurance company's looking into all employees to see what is sufficient and what's legit. It's, you know, I think it's a good.
I'm glad you sent out the email.
Yeah.
I usually don't. I don't even get rid of it, I'm afraid I'll hit the wrong thing. Mine are still there, I just haven't touched them.
Just delete them.
Well, you told me, don't touch it.
Well, when Brenda had that, I mean, it sent it out to even Ivan from INS, and she would have no contact, I mean, she sent out like 500 emails. It went to Ivan, I didn't even know how, she wouldn't even contact him.
Anything else with the good of God's today?
Well, I thank you. Just had a heck of a turnout. Biggest crowd we've ever had.
I spaced it out completely.
So we would have had to wait anyway. They had lines longer than we've ever had. Could be solidly served from 9 to 1. It never stopped.
Well, the weather was beautiful, so that helped. Good.
Had a lot of support from the neighboring towns, fire departments in the county and around, so that helped all the way up too. Thanks, everybody.
Anything else with the good of God's today? I would take that motion. Second. All those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.